So, change of wigs. I really like this one. This is Gabor's gratitude, and I've been messing around with it and having fun with it. Last night, I went to trim. You're gonna like this one. I went to trim my sideburns so I could wear the little gray wig without, the hair. I was gonna trim that off and trim the back down. And Taz from Taz's Closet, I watch her on occasion. I didn't realize she had a hair loss story. I was always like, what does she need wigs for? She's drop dead gorgeous. And her story really touched me, and I so identified with all the potions, concoctions, the things you tried to do to get your hair back, the money spent. I gave up in about my mid-30s when I started losing my hair at the age of 22, 23. And then in my mid-30s, I pretty much said, it's not that bad. I had been trying Niox, and later on I would try Rogaine for a very short stint. I didn't like the way it made my body feel when I, put that stuff in my scalp. So I really identified with what Taz had to say. And my resentment, what is wrong with me? Jealousy, envy, silly crap. I mean, we're all women struggling with the same issues in life, or pretty close to the same issues in life. I mean, when it all gets down to the basics, to the base of it. This channel has taught me so much about myself, how petty and judgmental I could be. And when I saw others being petty and judgmental toward me, it really made me start to think and correct my mind. I'm glad this happened. This was the year I want to be a better person, and it's happening. I may have dropped my gemology for now, and I'm probably going to pick it up again, but I'm just tired right now and confused, trying to make life decisions when a lot of you are right. I'm not ready to make these kinds of decisions yet. I don't even know if I'll be ready at 1 year of Dennis's death. I'm comfortable where I am right now. I wake up in the morning, I have a nice bed, a really good bed. I have running water and electricity. I've got my fridge and my stove. I can make my coffee, sit in my comfy chair, and record a video for you. And there's things in my heart and mind I need to do, such as finally sitting down and writing the letter that I want to send to all of my politicians, asking for the right to die at the end of life or during a severe illness that will end in death. These are the things that are so important to me. I've not forgotten my Dennis. I've not forgotten his suffering and the day he said to me, I wish I had that pill right now, when he sat in his chair in the last 2 months of his life. They were a miserable, miserable time. Anguish makes my face hurt just to think about it. I can feel the tension scrunching up in my muscles of my face when I think about what he suffered. I don't want others to suffer like that if they are ready to leave, if they're ready to go. We need to push. We need to push for what we need. We are the baby boomers, the product after World War II. of love and family and hope and future. We can't let our own people down. Well, oh good, I got plenty of minutes now. So I was talking about my accident that I had, my first biggie in Maryland, and we were supposed to be heading to Idaho after we did the Brimfield and stuff, and fate would stop me, and I was in rough shape, as I said before, and Bonnie was conceived shortly thereafter. How did that happen if you were in horrible pain? Well, I was laying in bed. Dennis would come home from work and he'd say, "Come on, Nikki, we have to walk." And he'd make me walk, and I'd be crying while I walked. And then I'd go back and I'd lay back down in bed, and I was miserable in pain. So one evening he said, "I can't take it anymore." He grabbed me and got me dressed, put me in the car, and took me to Sullivan's Bar in Rye Beach. And we got plastered, and he found marijuana, and we smoked that up. We had the booze in us. Next thing I know, it was some romantic evening, and Bonnie was conceived. That was the most miserable pregnancy of my life, because I'm trying to recover from this horrible pain and agony, and I do believe that's when fibromyalgia set in. Being pregnant, we drove back out to Idaho with our camper, with everything, and I remember trying to sleep at night and not wake anybody up in the camper, and I'd have to get up and go outside and cry from the pain. It was just a horrible time in my life. Sure wish I had had pain pills or more marijuana, one or the other. So eventually, I would slowly get better, but the fibromyalgia, I hadn't been diagnosed yet. My chiropractor and my massage therapist from that Maryland accident knew that's what was happening. They could feel it in my muscles. They could tell by my symptoms. I wouldn't be diagnosed till 2008 by a rheumatologist, nice guy. He went back to Dubai. Too bad. He was a good doctor. He didn't give me a lot of hope. Said eventually your pain meds aren't going to work anymore. So I was very sparing with them. I'd take them when I really, really needed them, and then I'd stop, mostly Flexeril. I can't remember if Darvocet was still legal at that time. I'm pretty sure I was on it then, and then they had to stop that, and I couldn't have that anymore. But I can't remember if that was another incident back in, I don't know. No, yes, no. No, I think it was another pain pill. I can't remember, but anyway, you know, they're always taking something back off the market after it kills enough people. So, yeah, that was the incident then. And so that was 2004. We had our little, no, we had bought that house in Whitefield, New Hampshire. And I was sick of that town. Won't go there. And I said to Dennis, I want to go back to Florida. And so we sold that house, and it was right in the midst of the boom before the 2008 crash, 2004. And we rented a house in Hernando Beach, just temporary, trying to find a house to buy in Florida. It wasn't going to happen because the first run of baby boomers was retiring. And they were coming in with cash and offering $3,000 to $5,000 more in cash to get the houses. We needed a loan. That threw us right out of the market. And the prices of houses were going through the roof. And Dennis was like, I'm not paying that much. I wish I had. In retrospect, now those houses are 3 times the price. So we ended up stuck in this little dinky 1-bedroom, 1-bath trailer. It was a disaster of epic proportions. Here I promised the kids a beautiful Florida home in their own bedrooms, and that just wasn't going to be. It was a rough time. Well, my mother got sick during the time we were living in that trailer. It was 2006, and she called me. Nikki, something's wrong with me. My legs are swollen from above my knee right up to my hip. I said, Mom, it's your heart. She'd had heart trouble and she wouldn't get an operation she needed. She was so afraid because of what happened to my father that she'd end up dying in the hospital, and my brother, who was disabled, would be left alone. So I says to Dennis, we gotta go home. I gotta help Mom. I told her to get to the hospital. She said she wouldn't. And I said, call Uncle Andrew and have him come take you there. And she did. Oh, Mom. She would die 3 weeks later from congestive heart failure. And I was stuck in a horrible situation. My fibro really flared really bad. I was in a lot of pain, but I wasn't experiencing the fog and many other symptoms that I would start experiencing in 2008, but it started after this stressful period in time. Where I'm trying to get to is the point in time where Dennis said to me, I saw this documentary on medical marijuana, and I think you should try it. So my mom died in 2006, and in 2007, I got my inheritance. But before that, I said to Dennis that December after she died, 2006, I said, I want to try to get Joey, my brother, back from the state. I want to go get a house in New Hampshire. I would never get Joey back, and it was a good thing because Joey had a lot of health issues and he needed that younger person to care for him. I'd let him go, and I needed to keep that. I remember a dear friend of mine, we're no longer in touch. I hope she's all right, but dear friend of mine in New Hampshire, she said, okay, Nikki, if you're going to let go of him, you got to do it for good. You can't take it back. And she was right, because I tried to take it back. It would cost me $9,000 in failure and more stress and more fibro symptoms in 2007, 2008. So that was back when, just before the crash, 2006, 2007, they were giving subprime loans. I was not employed. I had no tax returns. I didn't even have a bank account. And they said to me, can you get on to somebody, the banks, the lenders, subprime mortgage, can you get on to somebody's checking account? Yeah, let me ask my son, and he let me, and I got the loan. They were going to give me $250,000 when I had no income. I wasn't that stupid. I knew approximately what I would be getting from my mother's estate and from my car accident from 2004. Now it was 2008, 7, I'm sorry, and I was still waiting. I think it was by the end of that year. So I went to New Hampshire, couldn't find anything there, ended up in Maine. I think I've told the story before, ended up in Milo. It was my dream house. It really was. It was everything I ever wanted. But I'm glad I don't have it. The woman who has it deserves that place. It was meant for her. Dennis always regretted that we left Milo, but I'd be in real trouble now because it took a lot to upkeep that house, and it needed a lot of things I don't know how it would have ended, and the cold and me and my back. The minute October came and the cold winds blew, I was bedridden. It was rough. So where am I at here? It brings me to Milo, and that's when Dennis said to me, try medical marijuana, because I was like mostly bedridden in 2008, and it was horrible. I had 3 pages full of symptoms I was having. The worst of them was such fog that it felt like I was spinning. And I had tried everything natural, evening primrose oil. Oh man, I mean, I had hundreds of bottles of supplements with, a couple left in here, a couple left, and none of them working for what I needed. And I'm going to end that story there. And my next video will be on my experiences with medical marijuana in the state of Maine. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. It's good for me to get this out and go over it. And my children will get to know all about my life, the things that I was thinking that perhaps I never voiced and said. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye.